Hi, I am Dr.Venkata and today I am going to speak about the new education policy. Based on the report and recommendations of the Kothari Commission, the government of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi announced the first national policy of education in 1968, which is called for a radical restructuring and proposed equal educational opportunities in order to achieve national integration and greater culture and economic development. In 1986, the government led by Rajiv Gandhi introduced a new national policy on education. The new policy called for special emphasis on the removal of disparities and to equalize educational opportunity, especially for Indian women, scheduled tribes, scheduled caste communities. To achieve such a social integration, the policy called for expanding scholarships, adult education, recruiting more teachers from the SCs, incentives for poor families to send their children to school regularly, development of new institutions, and providing housing and services. The 1986 National Policy on Education was modified in 1992 by the P.V. Narasimha Rao government. In 2005, former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh adopted a new policy based on the Common Minimum Program of the United Progressive Alliance government. And after 28 years, India's new education policy has been issued. This policy is perfect on the paper, but implementation takes more time. In today's video, we will learn all about the new education policy. From an education perspective, the last groundbreaking thing was the right to education. In the Constitution, Article 21A was issued, which states that children from ages 6 to 14 education are free and compulsory. In 2014, BJP manifesto included in new education policy. When in 2015, Smriti Irani was HRD minister, a committee was formed whose chairman was TSR Subramaniam, which committee submitted its report on 7th May 2016. The objectives of this committee were to improve the quality of the education, credibility of education, addressing the gaps in implementation. After this, Dr. K. Kasturi Rangan, former ISRO chief, was appointed as chairman. A new committee of 9 members was made and drafted the new education policy in 2019, which finally passed today as new education policy of 2020. 3 most important changes in new NEP 2020. HRD Minister now renamed as Ministry of Education. It aims to increase state expenditure on education from around 4% to 6% of their GDP as soon as possible. Gross enrollment ratio to increase to 50% by 2035. This education policy is perfect in it, entirely keeping the ongoing requirement of our country in one hand and balancing with the practice of the world. The focus is holistic, as it gives equal weightage to academic, vocational training and then extracurricular. The idea is to focus on developing skill in the area of interest of the children so that sooner when they leave school, they are prepared for the world out there. Foremost, the curriculum that existed in 10 plus 2 form is to be replaced with 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 pattern, that is corresponding to ages 3 to 8, 8 to 11, 11 to 14 and 14 to 18 years respectively. This will bring the uncovered age group of 3 to 6 years under school curriculum, which has been recognized globally as the crucial stage for development of mental faculties of a child. Options for teaching in mother tongue till standard 6 specifically and can be extended to class 8th. Teach coding from 6th standard. It was practiced in China for long and now you can see the level of development they have reached. 360-degree holistic progress card of child covering the practical, academic and whatnot. Changes to the pattern in higher secondary education. Undergraduate or postgraduate programs shall be made flexible with multiple exit and entry options. Undergraduate program 3 to 4 years, postgraduate program 1 to 2 years, integrated 5-year bachelor or master, discontinued MPhil. A multidisciplinary approach has been requested, meaning holistic undergraduate program including flexible curriculum, introducing vocational subjects and interdisciplinary combination of subjects. For example, there will be no division as before into science, commerce and humanities stream. all the options will be available to the higher secondary students. They can create their own combinations for subjects and take up to the term. Language Sanskrit to be offered at all levels of school and higher education as an option for students, including in the 3-language formula. Other classical languages and literatures of India shall be available as options. Academic bank of credits shall be credited, wherein a student can take a sabbatical for the year or so and return to join where she left. Internship program shall be promoted from 6th standard onwards. Multidisciplinary education and research universities at par with IITs, IIMs to be set up as models of best multidisciplinary education of global standards in the country. The National Research Foundation will be created as an apex body for fostering and strong research culture and building research capacity across higher education. Higher Education Commission of India will be set up as a single overarching umbrella body for entire higher education, excluding medical and legal education. HECI to have for 4 independent verticals: National Higher Education Regulatory Council for regulations, General Education Council for standard setting, Higher Education Grant Council for funding, and National Accreditation for accreditation. Public and private higher education institutions will be governed by the same set of norms for regulations, accreditations and academic standards. A new and comprehensive national curriculum framework for teacher education NCFTE 2021 will be formulated by the NCTE in consultation with NCERT. By 2030, the minimum degree qualification for teaching will be a 4-year integrated B.Ed degree. Finally, the outcome focused out of NEP is firstly universalization of education. Then at last, every student shall come out of the school with definite practical skills. The board exams shall be held to test the core and application skills of knowledge attained. There will lie no difference between private and government education. It is surprising to see that HRD Ministry has also changed its name to the Ministry of Education. A little alarming and quite a warm step considering the year 2020. The government has proposed to increase IT's GDP investment in education from 1.6% to 6% at least. They have also focused on gross enrollment ratio, increasing it to 50% by 2035. These are numbers and only attainable when there is a dynamic change in the approach. The government schools should equally be in balance to private schools as the Kejriwal government did in Delhi. The government schools in Delhi are functioning well with fully equipped technology, certainly the perfect example as needed.